Now let's take you to the stock market, where the NGX closed on a positive note amid sell-offs and buy interest as the benchmark all-share index appreciated by 51 basis points. The Nigeria Exchange all-share index closed at 46,867.95 basis points to reflect a growth of 0.51% from the previous trading day and a year-to-date return of 9.72%. Meanwhile, the market capitalization grew by 127.49 billion naira. At the close of market on Monday, 11th April 2022, the stock exchange market value currently stands at 25.2 trillion naira at the end of the trading day. The Nigeria Exchange closed on a positive note amid sell-offs and buy interest, and that was closing the day and a year-to-date return of 0.51%. The stock market has advanced 4,151.51 basis points since the start of the year. Now we'll look at the market summary at 11th of April 2022. We see the all-share index closing at 46,867.95 basis points. That's a shoot-up of 0.51%. And then the deals traded were 5,946. That's an increase of 31.69%. The volume traded was put at 224.6 million volume traded, and also the market capitalization closed at 25.27 trillion naira. A look at the top 5 gainers now. We see NACO closing at 5 naira 50 kobo. That's a percentage change of 10%. And also USCN closing at 11 naira 10 kobo. That's an increase of 9.90%. Maya closed at 1 naira 24 kobo, a northward movement of 9.73%. Royalex also had a northward movement of 9.47%, while it closed at 1 naira 4 kobo. Len Africa closed at 1 naira 89 kobo. That's an increase of 9.25%. And now we take you to the sector movement, where we see the NSE, the banking sector, closing at 441.49 points. That's a decrease of 0.06%. The industry sector closed at 2,113.96 points, a decrease of 0.01%. But that's against the ASM closing at 658.99 points, an increase of that's a flat close actually, and of course that is what we have from the market yesterday. All right, so time to analyze what went down at the market yesterday, and we have analyzing this for us this morning an analyst who would be giving us or bringing us up to speed on what happened in the market yesterday. He is Kanayo John, Research and Strategies, Head Research and Strategies, Imperial Asset Managers Limited. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you for having me.
Now, looking at the report of what went down in the market yesterday, we saw the Nigeria Exchange closing on a positive note amid sell-offs and buy interest as the benchmark all-share index appreciated by 51 basis points. What do you think were the factors responsible for the rally witnessed yesterday?
If you look at the market, prior to yesterday activities, last week, in the last 4 weeks, market has been largely down, and we have seen a situation where most of the drivers of the market, I mean the counters that drive the market, have witnessed significant sell down. Over the last week, when we did a weekly review, we understood by indicators that there could be a major rally in this current week. We never, for any reason, saw it coming on Monday. We are looking at on Wednesday, from Wednesday up to Friday. But what we saw yesterday was a major surprise to so many of us. You can see that the banking sector, there was a major rally in the banking sector. You move from banking sector to consumer goods and equally to industrial good, just like you have pointed when you're analyzing the
sector movement.
The sector movements. So what actually happened in the market yesterday is a renewed buying interest by investors. Haven't observed that most of these counters have significantly shared their value over time. We saw most of them trading at their 2 months low, and we equally saw Ocean Index dropping to 2 months low, and that is a pointer that there could be a major rally, upward rally, and that's what really happened in the market yesterday.
But let's look at the gainers and the losers. On the gainers chart, we saw NACO going up by 10% to close at 5 naira 50 kobo, while USCN went up by 9% to close at 11 naira 10 kobo. Also, shares of Maya gained 9.73% to close at 1 naira 24 kobo. What do you think are some of the factors driving these gains?
Okay, thank you for this question. If you look at NACO in the recent audited results that was released early last week, informed the market that they will be paying a dividend of 41 kobo and equally giving a bonus 145. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 145. If you look at, ever since this news came into the market, that was on Tuesday, on Wednesday last week, NACO went up, on Wednesday went up by between 9 to 10%, and the next day was about 6 to 7%. And we saw Friday it dropped marginally. What we saw for NACO is that this information in the market, the dividend and bonus has continued to add in favor of NACO. It has become a major driver to NACO. Then if you move to USCN in the last week shared about 13.68%, and obviously this non-brainer. Those that watch this market keenly will have understand that the company did very well in the audited results that was released about 2 weeks ago. Keen follower of USCN or of the market would have seen that, there could be a major rally in USCN. What we are seeing is that investors are now pouring into USCN, looking at, since it has dropped significantly in previous week, that there could be a major uptrend, and that's what happened in USCN.
Okay, but let's also look at the shares of Royal Exchange, which gained 9.47% to close at 1 naira 4 kobo. Len Africa gained 9.25% to close at 1 naira 76 kobo. What is... Yes, Len Africa had a gain of 9.25% to close at 1 naira 76 kobo. What do you think investors' position should be for these stocks?
For Royal Exchange, there has not been a major information about what the company will be paying for financial year ended December 2021. But what we have seen with Royal Exchange is that the price has dropped significantly over weeks. And what happened in the market is some that have keen interest in the insurance industry will have looked at it and have the understanding that since it has dropped significantly over time, that this is a time to reposition in this particular stock. And remember very well, one information that is very vital is that this stock is a liquid stock. We have seen it over time. It will go up considerably. Then sell pressure come in, and after which buying interest will come into it again. That, to my own understanding, was what boosted Royal Exchange yesterday. For Land Africa PLC, the Land Africa PLC has the financial year end. The financial year ends in March 31st, which is due already. The auditor result should be expected any time from mid of May towards ending of May. What we have in the market already is that Land Africa is looking at acquisition, and I think this has been information driving Land Africa in recent time. They have already pushed information to the market, informing the market that they're looking at buying into a company that has a similar line of business. I think investors are looking at that.
Okay, Mr. John, let's take a quick break. We'll be back. The conversation will continue after the break. Please stay with us.
Okay.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We're still reviewing what went down at the stock market yesterday. And with us doing that is Kanayo John, Head Research and Strategies, Imperial Asset Managers Limited. Thank you so much for staying with us, Mr. John.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, so we're talking about the shares of some of the gainers, talking about UACN and NACO. But let's also look at the shares of the losers. For instance, Academy Express, which led other decliners as it declined by 9.6% to close at ₦1.60, while Mutual Benefits shed 7.69% to close at 24 kobo. Why do you think there was a decline in these stocks?
For Academic Press, the Q3 result that was released sometime in early January or mid of January, the result wasn't that fantastic, and I want to believe that this would have informed investors, especially shareholders, that individuals that are already in this stock. I pointed to them that that FY 2022, which will come in March, which will come in sometime in May, might not really look like what they are expecting. I think that would have informed them to set down on Academic Press. For Mutual Benefit, you know, this is an insurance counter. Obviously, the insurance counters are usually, once in a while, you see green flag in some of them. Most times you see investors having red flags on majority of them. What really happened here is, I think that should be market sentiment over insurance industry. And if you look at Mutual Benefit over a period of years now, mutual benefit has not been able to perform the way some investors would have wanted it, and equally has not paid dividend in recent time. I think what happened is people selling off on mutual benefits to raise money and take advantage of other cancers that they think that they could get one or two things, one or two positives.
Okay, but we also saw Japan going down by 5.8% to close at 32 kobo. Multiverse lost about 4.5% to close at 21 kobo. How motivated are investors when you look at their position for the stocks?
For Japan Gold, how motivated are investors? I think investors are not well motivated on this counter. Last week, Japan Gold sent an information to the market that they will not be able to fight the audited result for December 2021. It equally shows that there's a challenge. Whilst most of the companies have done that, Japan just sending information as at last week that they won't be able to fight that. I think that is equally sending a red signal that it's possible the full year result at any time it will be released will not be what shareholders are anticipating to get from the company. For Multiverse, I will take it as market first. I think the result has not been positive in recent time. But I just take it as a market first. It actually dipped by a kobo to representing 4.55%, obviously because the price is low price as it is now.
So what are the expectations for the week? How should investors position themselves, and what are your expectations, especially when it comes to the market movement for the week?
Okay. If you look at, like I pointed out when I started this communication with you, in the last 4 weeks, market has dropped positions, and that has presented buying opportunities to deciding investors. I'm looking at that market is going to reprice itself. Counters that have significantly shared weight, we see a repricing on them, meaning that there's going to be rally on them. Between now to Thursday, when the market will close, we saw what happened yesterday, and I think if you look at the market sentiment yesterday, you can see that it was largely high up compared to last week Friday. I see this sentiment continue up to Thursday. But remember, we have an Easter break around the corner, and there will be some investors that would probably want to sell down or set position in order to raise fund, and that could equally be a limiting factor to the market. Overall, what I have seen, especially in last week review, shows that there will be buying positions largely this week, the rest of the week.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts, Kanayo John, Head Research and Strategies, Imperial Asset Managers Limited. Thank you so much for the analysis this morning.